Hi, I'm Mike Sullivan, and you're watching Medfield.tv.
Access to our community.
Hi, I'm Alex Stephen, your host on Live Your Passion. By sharing my story and the wisdoms of my life journey of raising a successful deaf son and making a life-altering decision, I empower people to transform their lives to one of freedom and fulfillment. I'm an author, a speaker, and a transformation coach. On Live Your Passion, we bring guests to empower you who shares their stories and their challenges and how they overcame them so that you could get some wisdoms to help you on your life journey. Today, I'm blessed to have a very special guest. I have with me today Raz Stephen, who is going to share her passion and her dreams with you. I'll introduce you to you, Raz Stephen. Welcome, Raz.
Thank you, Alex. So my name is Raz Stephen, and I'm from deafparenting.com. And today I'm going to talk to you about nurturing girls' talent. And this is one of my passions. And my passion is to encourage girls to develop their love for math and science. And I want to get your help in showing you that computer science and technologies is a great career options for girls. And today I want to show you how you can help me on this mission.
And full disclosure, Raz is my wife. We married. And in next few weeks in April, we're going to be married 36 years.
Yes.
And it seems like 6 months.
Yes, it does seem like 6 months.
Yeah. So Raz, tell the audience a little bit, from your recollection, how you started or recognized that you had this love for mathematics.
So starting from, my first days in school, from kindergarten, of all my subjects, math was the easiest for me. So it just came naturally and I loved it. So straight through elementary school, it was my best subject.
So you, even from kindergarten, you said.
Yes.
So I
yes.
think your granddaughter got that from you.
Thank God for that.
Yeah. And, so tell us a little bit about your journey in mathematics, going through probably elementary school, through high school. And if you had any challenges you want to share. So I know it's something that you love, it came easy, but was there any challenges that you had to overcome to stay on that path?
Well, one thing I did forget in my introduction is right now I'm a manager of a team of international engineers, 25 to be exact, for a large computer corporation. And yes, getting back to the challenges, when I started high school and for my math classes, it so happened that the teachers didn't show up. So I didn't have any math teachers. So that was a challenge. And I loved math and I really wanted to pass math. And in our high school, to complete your high school, you had to pass an international exam for each subject, and math was one of the subjects.
So how could you share with the audience how you overcame that challenge, what you did? Because you've come a long way, so you want to let them know, although you had the love for it and it came easy, it was not easy, so to speak. So,
well, in high school, what could have happened is I could have not progressed in math. And it was something I loved and liked and really wanted to do. And I would take the textbook and I would read it, understand it, and try to teach myself. And sometimes the concepts, I just couldn't get it. So what I would do, I would ask students who were senior to me on, how to help with it. And also there were some teachers that didn't teach me, but they taught other classes, and I would go to those teachers for help.
Right. So you were persistent.
Yes.
You
I was
didn't give up and
persistent.
say, okay, the teachers didn't show up, so so you were persistent and you followed through on your love for mathematics. So you did pass math. You
Yeah,
went
my
on.
goal was to pass it.
So tell us a little bit after you graduated from high school. How did you stay in that field?
So when I graduated from high school, I got a job as an accounts clerk, and I did some accounting classes part-time. And about 5 years after Alex and I got married, we had 2 children, and then, then we went to university. We had about turn in our lives there, and we went to university together, and we had 2 children.
Right. So we went to Howard University,
Yes.
and Larry we found out he was deaf. That's the reason we moved to the United States, and he went to Gallaudet. And tell us a little bit, once you came to Howard University, you wanted to do math because that is what you love. That was, that was what you were good in.
Yeah.
So tell us that experience.
So what was driving me at that point was I wanted to be a good math teacher, better than the teachers I had in high school.
Right.
I really wanted to reach kids. So I decided on math as my major. And when you have a mathematics major at Howard University, you have to decide on a minor. So my options were actuarial science, information technology, and computer science. So one of my professors, I was just discussing it with him, and he said, you should do computer science. That's really, it's such a great field, and you should do it. So I decided to do it, and I did all the minor courses. And to make a long story short, I ended up doing, I love math, and I love computer science. And it was just a natural transition, because it's the same way you think in math, it's the same way you think in computer science.
Right.
And I ended up doing a master's in computer science.
Masters in computer science. So what I'm hearing you saying there is that although you came in you want to do math to be a teacher, to be a better teacher than the ones who did not show up in high school, you were flexible.
Yes.
But you showed up, and that's the point, is that you have to show up, and sometimes you have to be flexible. So you didn't tell your professor, no, I want to be a teacher, and if you wanted to, that was okay too. But the thing is, you had options, and you made a decision. And it took you on a trajectory in your life that you could not have imagined at that point.
Yes, it did. And one of the things I wanted to add is when he told me that take, computer science as my minor, I'm an immigrant from the Caribbean, and I had never used a computer at that point. So I was, a wife, mother, 2 kids, and I had just started university and had never used a computer. And now he's saying, why don't you do a minor in computer science?
Right. Okay. So, and you did well at Howard. You did your undergrad. You did your master's in computer science. So you followed your dreams in mathematics and computer science. So tell us a little bit about your career. How has it worked out for you, the different jobs, and how you build your career to where you are now.
Yeah.
Just share with the audience, especially the girls who's looking on, share with them, some of your experiences.
So I took the long road to get to computer science. And I took the long road to get to computer science. And it has been a really enjoyable career.
Right.
And I've worked for a number of companies, and I went, just up the ranks, and I was lucky to do a lot of working with customers, and just, fill in all the gaps. And right now, as I said, I'm a manager of 25 employees international team, and I have one woman on my team, and also I have the opportunity to hire and interns and university hires especially. And for every 30 resumes that I look at, just one is from a female student. And many times by the time I call her, she's so good, she's already got a job, and it's too late. I had the opportunity to hire one, as an intern, one female. Her major was math, and she had to do a minor, and it was physics, and she was excellent. So, my goal is for somehow ask parents and teachers and myself nurture the love for math and science in girls, and then make the teachers and parents and girls know computer science and technology is an option for them.
It's an option.
Yeah, and a very good option.
Right. So it's encouraging them to have that basic foundation, which is math and science, and say, here's an option that's open for you. So in that light, what do you see, being in the field for this long, at this rank, what do you see the women could add being engineers on your team? What do you envision, or what do you think they could do being on your team?
Oh, you mean the new hires and stuff?
The new hires. What you envision you think your team is missing from not having enough women engineers? So
computer science and technology and being a software engineer is just a great job. You get to create products. If you can imagine it, you can do it. For example, right now one of our projects is we are using software and computers to help doctors decide on how they will treat cancer patients. And women use our products. They buy it and they use it. So it's coming from an employer point of view, we need to have girls and women perspective when we design, when we develop products. So that's one advantage there.
That's one advantage. Could you share with the audience like one project or projects you work on that they might know of, something that was fun to know that you were part of it, that they might recognize?
Okay. So the same project I was talking about, I don't know, it's popular knowledge that there was the computer Watson.
Okay.
Yeah, that was on the Jeopardy show, the Jeopardy game show.
A lot of people look at that.
And Watson won. They would ask the question, they'd answer, and they would ask the question. And we have take that computer and that software, and now we are using it to target special, areas. And that one of the areas right now is there's so much data out there, so much knowledge, and usually the doctors that work with cancer patients, it's just a lot to deal with, and this software helps them decide, what is the appropriate treatment for different patients, and they make the final decision, but it tells them what area to focus on and what information is available. So it's exciting, right? You're getting to help patients.
Right. So pretty good. So you've had a long journey, like you say. You took the long road in computer science, and you love it, which is great. When you're doing what you love, it doesn't come as work. It's fun. It's more fun than work, and it's more joy than being a job. Job to joy, which is great.
That. Yeah.
Right. But so. Let me ask you, were there anyone or anybody along your journey who said, no, you're a girl, you're a woman, you should not be doing mathematics and science, you should be doing something else? Were there anybody along your path you could recall that told you no?
Well, I'm fortunate that didn't happen to me.
Okay.
And my parents were very supportive, just in general academics. So that's why I didn't give up in high school. But to my surprise, When now I have, done some research, I've talked to a lot of uncles and aunts, people I work with, parents, and even me as a parent for our daughter Charisma, that when the girls start middle school, they're fine in elementary school. They're comfortable with their ability for math, their love for math, and they could do things in math and science. But when they go to middle school, there is this peer pressure. And a lot of times they think it's not cool to be good in math, to be smart in math or science. And you don't want to be nerdy or you don't want to be a geek.
So
And
there's a stigma.
There's a
attached.
stigma.
Yeah.
And, I want to work with parents and to work with teachers to help girls, don't get that stigma. And then also I found that right around that age, sometimes girls, they have the ability. I know they have the ability because I work with women who have that ability.
Right.
I have that ability. And somehow, by the time they get to middle school, they think that it's hard. Math and science is hard. Somehow they've got the message that it's hard. And I really want to help, get over that.
So do you think there's a gender issue too, where the girls somewhere along the line, parents, teachers, mentors, or even friends tell them this is a boy thing or a male field, you shouldn't get into that? Have you seen any?
I don't know so much if they say it's a male field, but what I believe is happening is the girls, the interests or their talents are not being encouraged as much.
Right.
So then I want to encourage parents and teachers to focus on that.
Right. So build a foundation.
Yeah.
Encourage them early. Give them the options early.
Yes.
And that way they make the choice eventually. But they know it's a choice. They know it's good. But one of the things, Raz, you should share with the audience is when did you start to work with computers? Because these children now, like our granddaughter Ravina, she know from less than 2 years old how to manipulate the iPhone, the iPad. Tell the audience a little bit about your experience when you started working with computers.
Well, it was when I started working. I got introduced to it in university, and so it took a while to just get your thoughts and your brain working with that. But having been open about math and having the ability, it's the same way of thinking, and one day it just clicks, and that happens, and then it was all new, and it was a great, interesting learning process. And I'm so thankful that I'm in this field because it's such a great field to be in.
Great field to be in. And that's a major point. Raz, as an adult, married with 2 children in university, really got her first experience with computers. And now the children, the girls, are, you're born into this. It's in the home, it's in the classroom, it's all over. So I believe it's easier to absorb and grasp the concept, and you just have to encourage them to build that foundation in math and science.
Yeah. So now they know what the products are, right?
Right.
iPads, iPhone, everything, all the tablets and everything. And it's so useful.
Right.
And every time you come out with a new feature and that's helpful, makes things pleasurable and enjoyable. So I would love to have, young women working on these projects and bringing in their perspective on it, and think about, you creating the latest. Yeah, so it's a great field.
And I know you're doing this through your speaking and talking to parents and students and, going to schools and groups. So you're spreading this message.
Yeah. And today I want to ask the audience for help.
For help. So in that light, what will you like to tell the parents and the teachers of these students, what message you like to, convey to them?
So a couple of points. I would say the first one is encourage the interest in math and science. And then when the young girls, and it starts early, you should try to do it from toddlers. And our granddaughter Ravina, she's 5, and she comes home and she says, sometimes she says, this is for boys or this is for girls. I would like to say this is for everybody. And celebrate their accomplishments. And also, if you can build their self-confidence in all their academic ability, that's what my parents did. And then especially in math. And then also as they get older, maybe if you know women engineers or just anybody engineers, software engineers, have them be your niece or your granddaughter, your daughter's mentor. Let them take them in to work one day and see what it is.
See the environment.
See the environment and things like that. And my goal is, what I would like to see is when a young woman gets into middle school, she's only 11 years of age, and she gets the peer pressure that says, you shouldn't do math, you shouldn't do computer science, you shouldn't do science because it's hard, because it's nerdy, it's not the cool thing. She should be able to answer, who says who?
Says who at that age?
I love math.
Yeah.
I'm good at it, and I'm going to continue being good at it. Yeah.
So share with the audience from your experience and what you have seen, what are some of the advantages of girls, young women doing math and computer science and working on computers in general?
So that's a great question. And one of my goals is I don't want to force the girls into that profession. What I'm saying is I want the parents and the teachers to give it to them as an option, educate them on the option. And it's from my experience, it's a really great career choice for women. First of all, it's not physically taxing, it's intellectually taxing. And that makes the job so enjoyable. You get so much satisfaction from, getting a solution to a problem, creating a product that millions of people are going to use. And then also, with telecommuting, thank you. It's so flexible for your family life. You can work from home.
Or Starbucks.
Or Starbucks. And then it's a really good paying.
Good paying job.
Yeah.
Good paying job.
And as from an employer point of view, we need young woman perspective when we design products.
Right.
So those are some of the things.
Yeah. So there are a lot of advantages for them. And I, as you were saying that, I was just envisioning in my mind the kids who call them nerd in school going to be looking at them driving their BMW and having their iPad and having that flexibility of, not being at a job, clocking a card and doing whatever, and having a good career and a good lifestyle.
Yes, and plus all of that is the icing on the cake, but the cake itself it's such a great job. It's a very satisfying job too.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I like how you put it, that you're not forcing anyone into the career. But yes, you want girls to have that option. Let them know that that's an option. That is something I could do. Yes, I could do it despite being a girl. It's not gender, has nothing to do with it. And what you have seen is that a lot of girls have the ability and the love for it, but they've been, they haven't been nurtured or encouraged. So they just have this perception that they have to do something else.
Yeah, they suppress it,
Yeah,
right?
they suppress it.
And on my long journey, I almost didn't get to be in this field, right? And what helped me, what rescued me, what enabled me to be in this field was my math ability and my love for it. And when I think I almost didn't get there, and I took this long journey to get there, my passion is I want to help these young women, these girls get there directly. And a lot of times they're not thinking that this is an option.
So you want to help them, not go through the trial and error that you went through, and give them that encouragement. Because did you have anybody except your professor who were like mentors or people who were, really encouraging you in this field, or you just went along because it was your dream and desire and what you loved?
Well, in college, it was a lot of the teachers. For math, and the university I went to, for math major, on a typical day, there was just about 7 of us in the class. And all the teachers encouraged us. So thanks to all the teachers who encouraged us in math. That was every student in math. So that was great.
So you came through your persistence, you came from high school where the teachers didn't show up.
Yeah.
And then you came to Howard University, left Trinidad, came to United States and Washington, D.C., and you had teachers who showed up, and you had a small class, and they could give you, more personal time. So that was a big difference. And thank God you didn't, tank on your goals or give up on your goals and dreams. And it goes to show when you're persistent and when you're committed, things will open up for you.
Yeah.
Things will open up for you.
So one more thing I wanted to add about the mentoring and the helping. So in computer science, and because I'm in it, I'll talk from that perspective. It's a team. It's a team effort. So even though there is a lot of men in the profession, it's usually the teams are great to work with. And it's when you develop a product, when you try to solve a solution, it's a team effort. And I must say, once you're willing to learn, once you're willing to contribute, everybody is willing to help.
Yes.
And usually, when girls, young women go to university and stuff, they have a pretty strong foundation. And you're respected and your contributions are respected.
Yeah, from, visiting your workplace and being around some of the engineers that you work with, it's a different business environment than finance and banking and accounting. It's completely different. It's so much more laid back, and you guys get a lot more done without all the drama. So that's a good point for the girls to know.
Yeah, it's I wouldn't say it's stress free, but it's less stress.
It's less stress.
Yeah.
At least you guys look less stressed, these guys with their jeans and t-shirt at work.
But when we have deadlines, it's stressful.
Yeah.
But in general, it's as a software engineer and being able to create products and solutions and stuff, if you have a good manager, and now I'm in management, you don't have to worry too much about the politics. You are enabled to create and provide solutions.
So now you're in a hiring position in an international corporation. So you really want to encourage and nurture these girls and help them to get into this field if that's their option.
If when they consider the whole list, and then maybe when they start talking to their math teachers, their science teachers, their career counselor, that's an option too.
That's an option.
Yeah, and if their parents know it's an option, wouldn't you like to have your daughter, your granddaughter, your niece in a fulfilling profession that pays really well.
It's really good.
Yeah.
So share with us a little bit, Raz, I mean, how you did it. Let these young women and girls understand a little bit about your journey. You did it, you were married, you had 2 children, you really reached the top of your career. So how did you manage that with all, manage work and your home life?
So my, life and work balance.
Yeah.
So one of the my first rule, which was important, it was that I put family first, and then my career was a close second. So really close second, but I always made all my decisions with the family first. And then I developed the ability to, when I'm in work, I work 100%, 120%, and I give it my everything. And I enjoyed work too. And then when I spend time with my family, I do that 100%, and I keep the two separate, and I enjoyed that part of life. So, and then plus working in the field of computer science and technology and being a software engineer, as I said, because I enjoy the job, it's less stress, so I don't have to worry too much about bringing my stress into my personal life. So that's one way that I found life balance there.
Life balance.
Yeah.
So that's very important. You want to have that balance. You want to have a successful career, but you still want to have the other areas of your life, your relationships, extracurricular activities, and that's very important.
Yeah.
So in conclusion, is there anything else you would like to add, or nuggets you would like to share with these girls, the parents, the teachers?
Well, if there's young women out there listening, and I want you to know that your love for math is a great thing. Your love for science is a great thing. And being smart, be proud of it. And if you're looking at majors right now, consider computer science and technology. And if you're a parent, an uncle, an aunt, or teachers, this is a good option for these young women. So encourage them and see what you can do. Encourage them to develop the love for math and the love for science, and show them it's an option. We live in Massachusetts. It's such a hub for computer science. I'm sure your neighbor, somebody is in the field.
Right.
And you can have them mentor from an early age. Take them to the office one-on-one. And just, all I'm asking is put it on the table as an option that they consider.
They could
Yeah.
consider. Yeah, so what Raz is saying is she has this passion to really encourage and nurture girls in math and and science, basically to build that foundation and have computer science as an option. This is great information. She's sharing how to get mentors, how to ask your teachers for help. She shared where she didn't have teachers show up in high school, but that didn't stop her. And by going the long journey, she got teachers in Howard University that was they were encouraging her. So she built a really successful career, and I heard her say, she has life balance. And a woman being in the field, you're needed. You work as a team, and you add in value, and you could have a good lifestyle in terms of the salary and your flexibility, especially when you start to build a family.
Yeah.
And you have to be home, and you could work from home and even Starbucks sometimes. So that's pretty good, Raz. Thanks a lot for joining us. We
Okay.
really appreciate it for you sharing your knowledge and your wisdoms and your passion, because I know this is a burning passion of yours. You speak on stage about it. You speak to groups. You speak to young women one-on-one. So it's great for you to take time off and come and spend some time with us. I'm Alex Stephen, your host on Live Your Passion. You could go to my website, alexstephen.com. I have some free resources there if you want to learn more about me. And it was really a pleasure being on this show. And join us again. We have some more interesting guests coming down in the next few weeks. So we love to have you. Thanks for looking on at Live Your Passion. Thank you very much. Thanks, Raz.
You're most welcome.
Production support provided by Medfield.tv. Access to our community.